Hey, App Psychology students! Welcome to our deep dive into group influence, a fascinating topic from social psychology that explains why we act, think, or feel differently when we're around others. Picture this: you're at a school pep rally, screaming your head off for your team, louder than you ever would alone. Or maybe you've noticed how your friends' opinions start to sway yours during a heated group chat. That's group influence at work, and today, we're unpacking what it is, how to spot it, and some cutting-edge research that'll blow your mind. Let's get started. First, let's define group influence. It's the way a group's presence, dynamics, or expectations shape an individual's behavior, decisions, or attitudes. Think of it as the invisible push and pull of social settings. Psychologists break this down into key concepts: social facilitation, social loafing, de-individuation, and group polarization. Social facilitation is when you perform better, or sometimes worse, because others are watching. Social loafing is when people slack off in a group, assuming others will cover for them. De-individuation happens when you lose your sense of self in a crowd, sometimes leading to wild behavior. And group polarization? That's when a group's discussion makes everyone's opinions more extreme. These forces are everywhere, shaping how we act in classrooms, sports teams, or even online. Now, how do you recognize group influence in real life? Let's walk through a high school scenario. Imagine you're on a group project with 4 classmates. You're all supposed to research a historical event, but one teammate, Jamie, barely does any work. They're texting instead of contributing, figuring the rest of you will handle it. That's social loafing in action. Jamie's effort drops because the group's responsibility feels shared. But then, your teacher stops by to check in, and suddenly Jamie's typing furiously, throwing out ideas. That's social facilitation. Jamie's performance spikes under scrutiny. Later, your group starts debating which event to focus on. At first, you all lean toward the American Revolution, but as you talk, everyone gets more intense, arguing it's the only event worth studying. That's group polarization. Your group's shared opinion gets stronger and more extreme through discussion. And if you've ever been at a school dance where everyone starts chanting for a song and you join in, even if you don't care, that's de-individuation. You're swept up in the crowd's energy. Let's make it even more relatable. Think about a time you were at a football game. You're cheering, maybe even yelling things you wouldn't normally say, because the roaring crowd makes you feel anonymous. That's de-individuation again. Or maybe you've been in a study group where one person's confidence in an answer convinces everyone else, even if it's wrong. That's group influence steering the whole crew off course. These examples show how groups can boost your energy, make you lazy, or push you to extremes, often without you realizing it. Now, let's dive into some fresh research and theories that add new layers to group influence. A 2023 study from the Journal of Social Psychology explored how group influence plays out online, specifically in gaming communities and social media platforms. They found that group polarization happens faster online than in person. Why? Anonymity and instant feedback, like likes, retweets, or chat reactions, make people bolder, escalating extreme opinions in minutes. For example, a gaming group might start mildly annoyed about a game update, but after a few heated Discord messages, they're all raging and planning a boycott. This study highlights how digital spaces amplify group dynamics, something earlier research didn't focus on as much. Another fascinating study from 2024, published in Social Behavior and Personality, looked at diversity in groups. They found that teams with varied backgrounds, think different ages, cultures, or experiences, show less social loafing. Why? People feel more accountable in diverse settings, wanting to prove themselves to others who seem different. Imagine a school club with students from different grades and interests. Everyone's working harder because they don't want to look lazy in front of such a mixed group. This challenges older assumptions that group similarity always boosts cooperation, showing diversity can be a powerful motivator. Let's also touch on a newer theory, the social identity model of de-individuation effects, or SIDE. This theory says that de-individuation doesn't just make you lose your identity, it can make you cling tighter to a group's identity. For instance, if you're at a protest march, you might feel anonymous in the crowd, but you also feel super connected to the group's cause, like saving the environment. This can make you act in ways that align with the group's goals, even if it's out of character for you. SIDE explains why online movements, like hashtag campaigns, spread so fast. People adopt the group's identity and amplify its message. Another cool finding comes from a 2022 study in the European Journal of Social Psychology. It explored how group influence affects decision-making under stress. They found that groups under pressure, like students cramming for a deadline, tend to conform more to dominant opinions, even if they're wrong. This ties to groupthink, a related concept where groups prioritize agreement over critical thinking. Imagine your project group rushing to finish a presentation and everyone agrees to a sloppy idea just to avoid conflict. That's groupthink, fueled by the stress of group dynamics. So, why does all this matter? Group influence shapes your daily life, how you work in teams, post online, or even cheer at games. It's not just about fitting in, it's about understanding why you might act against your usual self. Next time you're in a group, pause and notice, are you working harder because someone's watching?